Beginning in 2012, foreign news organizations have ratcheted up their scrutiny of senior leaders in China. In fact, there's a kind of reporting that has taken root in the last few years that uses a level of forensic detail that we have really rarely, I think, ever seen in foreign correspondence around the world. It's the kind of microscopic investigative approach that a reporter in Chicago, for instance, would have used to root through the records in City Hall to figure out what sort of property was being held under other people's names. Oftentimes these stories are hard to read, they're incredibly hard to report, and they're also incredibly important. In China's case, reporters have rooted through these obscure regulatory filings, they've looked at bond prospectuses, and they've painted a picture of the beneficiaries of China's rise in a way that has done a service, I think, to the country. And that gets to the heart of a fundamental shift in the way that foreign correspondents operate in China. We are no longer bringing back news from a remote, exotic land where we can describe whatever it is that we find and bring it to people on the other side of the world. China is now present in our lives in a way it wasn't before. It's now the world's second largest economy. It's a rising superpower. And I think whether we like it or not, foreign correspondents are now participants, in a way, in the domestic conversation about the distribution of power and resources and the fruits of China's rise. Even when a story in the Times, for instance, is blocked, as it was last year when there was a story about the wealth of the premier, the story makes its way into China in other ways, and it becomes a part of what people know and understand about the world around them. I once asked an editor named Hu Shuli, who's a very prominent muckraker in Beijing, I said, what do you feel like when you see these stories in the foreign press that you can't do in your own media because you couldn't publish it? She says, on the one hand, of course, I'm sorry, because I think that I would like to have it in my own magazine. But the truth is that she was also glad that it was happening because it sets a new target for her and her reporters to meet. And for that reason, it's significant.